Hey guys, so today I am here with a really exciting video. I know that I haven't had a video on my channel in a little over 2 weeks, which in like YouTube world is like 2 years pretty much, and a lot of people have been wondering where I am. Basically what happened was we had our baby. We had our baby. We had a baby. I tweeted that I was going to be filming my 38-week pregnancy update and uploading it a day later, and I ended up never filming it. Because I went into labor. So I am here today with Brian. If you guys do not know, this is my boyfriend of almost 4.5 years, and we had a baby together, obviously.
I'm the baby daddy.
He is the baby daddy, and we are here with the labor and delivery story, which has been highly, highly requested. And then of course at the end, we will show you our beautiful daughter, Avery. She's pretty cute. I'm not gonna lie. She's
definitely my kid.
She's definitely yours, and she's adorable, and she looks just like you now, which is sad. But yeah, so basically this is gonna be the story of everything that happened. I wanted to include Brian because I figured he was there for the entire thing, and he would give a really good perspective as well, because a lot of the time I was in pain and couldn't really think straight. Yeah. So Brian could think straight for me. So basically, I guess I started going into labor on Wednesday the 11th, February 11th. That would have been my 39 week exactly. I was 39 weeks that day. I started going into labor that morning. I started having contractions. They actually woke me up at like 7:30 in the morning. And at the time, they just kind of felt like period cramps pretty much in my back. That's where I was getting them mostly. And at the time when it started happening, I was like, oh, this is the worst pain I've ever experienced, but oh, it got worse. So I woke up at 7:30, they woke me up, and I called my mom, and I was like talking to my mom the whole morning till like 11 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
And I woke up Brian, and I'm like, we need to go to OB triage right now. I'm gonna have this baby.
So I rolled over, called my boss, and was like, hey boss, Kirsten's going into labor, she thinks, so I can't come in.
Pretty much. I feel like that happened a lot with us.
Oh yeah.
So we went into the OB triage. This is the second time that we've been there. The first time was, I think I talked about it, I don't remember which update, but the first time we'd gone because I hadn't felt any movement. And
yeah, it was like 2 weeks prior,
It was like 2 weeks prior, and the same nurse recognized us. So we went in there, and I was having contractions in my back. They weren't really in my stomach or my front, but like, you know, my stomach gets hard. When you have a contraction, it's kind of like a really intense period cramp, and your stomach gets really, really hard. It's like hard as a rock. Like, it gets really intense.
And for any significant others out there, you can feel it yourselves. If you feel her stomach, it'll be really,
it's like rock hard.
Tight.
Yeah, it's super, it's contracting. Everything's contracting, so it's super hard. So we got into the room. We got a room. I'm trying to remember. It feels like it's been forever, but it's only been like a week.
We got into the room.
They put the monitors on me, and they did a pap smear on me. This was weird, because this is where things get a little different, because I know with a lot of other pregnancies, our hospital's a little different. I had never had one. They had never looked at me down there the entire pregnancy.
I've been to every single appointment, and I can vouch for it. They had never looked at me.
Everybody thought it was weird. I mean, my mom thought it was weird. Your mom thought it was weird. We all thought it was super weird that they didn't do it. I mean, we asked, and they just never did it. So this was the first time I ever had one. It was, just whatever. We don't talk about that because I'm pretty sure a lot of you know what that feels like. And then she also had to check my cervix, so I had a cervical check. That was extremely uncomfortable. That was probably worse than the pap. I mean, that you saw my face. Well, I was like,
the pap smear was, they were checking to see if there was any fluids from the inside or the
they checked basically to see if my water broke.
Basically,
really.
That's all it was for, and it hadn't. So then when they, she basically put on a glove and
did the cervical check.
Oh yeah.
And that was pretty intense.
If you guys could have seen Kirsten's face.
I mean, I was horrified.
Hallmark moment.
I was horrified. So afterwards, we were there maybe for an hour, and they were like, well, you're only half a centimeter dilated. You're not even a centimeter dilated.
And that was hard to take as a significant other, because I'm like, so if she's not even ready now, like when will she be? Like, it was almost at the point, I can't feel what she's feeling, and it's like I'm supposed to be able to soothe her, and it's hard when you have no idea if they're really going into this extreme pain that they're feeling, or no, I mean she wasn't, or if she was just milking it.
At the time, like that first visit, I wasn't in as much pain as I wasn't prepared for what was gonna happen, really. So we went home, and by that time I got home at like 3-ish, and because I hadn't slept, I took a nap. Brian went to work. He worked like a really short shift.
Yeah, it was just a 4-hour shift. So
it was pretty easy. I just took a nap. I woke up. I was still having them. I still, I think, have the note in my phone. I was literally timing every single one from 7:30 in the morning on Wednesday to when I gave birth, pretty much. So that night, when Brian got home, they had gotten a lot worse. I would say the first ones were like small, and then these were like medium amounts of pain. They had gotten pretty close together, and they hurt really bad. Like, I was in a lot of pain.
And when she means she's in a really lot of pain, it's not like period cramps discomfort, because I've been with her for 4.5 years. I know when she's going through that, and I know that type of pain. We're talking blood-curdling screams, crying.
We were both up the entire night.
It was bad.
It was, I mean, like, he put on Netflix, and I mean, I couldn't even watch it.
We both slept in the living room to deal with it. I can't sleep if she can't sleep. That's just the way it works.
It got really bad. They were really close together. I felt like there was nothing I could do because I was so discouraged from going the first time to the hospital and being turned away. And they were like, "Oh, you're only 0.5 centimeter." I'm like, okay, well then, if that's what it's like if this is the worst that it gets, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to take it anymore. Like, it was so bad.
If I could tell you guys how many times she just told me to kill her, then
I was like, just kill me.
She's like, I just want this to be over.
I was in a lot of pain. It was really painful, and you can't take like any extreme amount of some medicine for it because I couldn't. I was pregnant. So I took like 3 baths within an hour.
Yeah.
I was in the bathtub quite often. It didn't help. It didn't relax me. It didn't do anything. I know it does for a lot of people, but for me, it didn't work. I wasn't relaxed at all. I was just in so much pain. So that morning, again, so Thursday morning, we went back to OB triage because they were a lot closer together, and I thought, maybe it's time. So we went back. They didn't seem all too impressed to see us again.
No. They were like, this girl again?
Well, I was in pain, so I wanted to go. And so we got put in a room, and actually we were at triage for a lot longer this time. It was about 2 hours, 2-3 hours that we were there this time. And they did all the checks again. The contractions were 7 minutes apart, and they didn't want me in there unless they were 2 to 3 minutes. So they were 7 minutes apart. It was a different nurse. She did the cervical check, and
this is where things got crazy.
Things got weird.
Yeah.
So she did the cervical check, and I wasn't really paying attention.
Kirsten wasn't paying attention. She was doing the cervical check, and we didn't explain onto it before, but if you're watching this, you should know what a cervical check is. Basically,
they shove
their hand
they check your cervix.
They're checking the cervix.
They're checking to see
So usually the first time she went, or the first time we went, everything went smoothly. This time around, she went in, and I don't really watch it. I'm kind of just there to help Kirsten. And when she came out, I couldn't help to notice that her glove was covered in blood, and that was weird to me because I knew I hadn't seen that before, and I didn't want to show that like crazy oh my God, Kirsten, what the? So I was freaking out, and the nurse took off the glove nonchalantly and threw it in the trash, and then towards the end of the visit, she's like, "So have you ever had any bleeding during any visits or anything like that?" And Kirsten's like, "No," and I looked at Kirsten, I was like, there was blood all over her glove. That
really freaked me out. I started shaking a little. I got kind of nervous. And then she was like, "You're only 1 centimeter dilated." And she goes, "You're only 1 centimeter dilated." She's like, you could go into, you're in labor, you're in, early labor. You could either go tonight, tomorrow, the weekend.
Next week.
And I was like, I was just in so much pain. I was so frustrated. I was really upset.
And we were running on no sleep.
No sleep. I was really upset because I'm now being told I'm bleeding everywhere, so I'm freaking out. Like, I'm nervous.
And she was in pain, so she didn't. And she's like, if this isn't it, then how much worse?
Yeah, they were. And then I remember the nurse saying, she's like, "Come back in when it's 4 times worse than this." And I literally wanted to smack her. I was gonna be like, "Are you kidding me?" So another nurse comes in. She checks the baby, checks the fluid levels. And then she decided to prescribe me because they could tell that I was exhausted.
Yeah, she hadn't slept.
I hadn't slept in like 24 almost hours. they could tell I was exhausted, so she decided to prescribe me an Ambien, which I thought was weird. My mom thought was weird. We all thought it was weird. So we went down to the pharmacy, we got an Ambien, we went home. I took one and I tried to sleep. I couldn't sleep. Like, I was tired, like I felt drowsy, I felt tired, but the pain just kept me up all throughout the day. I just was in so much pain. Before we left, they put like a maxi pad on me because I was bleeding. And I mean, so they put one on me, and I was just every time I would have a contraction, I could feel it myself bleeding. So I was feeling just really sick of it. We called my mom right after we went to the hospital because my parents live 4 hours away, and we were like, you should just come down because I was in pain.
And it was more or less, I wanted her mom to come down because I couldn't, I mean, it's weird to say this, but I was trying to be supportive, but it's just at a point, there really wasn't much I could do.
After 24 hours of seeing me in pain, I'm sure Brian was just like over it, fed up, and you were tired
I really
too.
was. And I mean,
sleep either.
We had gone to triage twice. I was like, oh my gosh, is this what it's going to be like for the next week? Am I going to be in the hospital every day?
That's what I was scared of too. I was really upset. I thought we went to the hospital every day. So it's still Thursday. My parents are on their way, and it was about 5:30ish. Brian had just put a pizza in the oven. We had just turned on Netflix.
Kirsten had been screaming in pain for the past couple of hours and asked me, do we need to go? Do we need to go? I was like, Kirsten, let's just wait till your mom gets here and then we'll go in.
Yeah, because I felt that was right too. If my mom was here, then we could have just went in and like whatever. We could have handled it. 5:30, Brian put a pizza in the oven, turn on Netflix. I'm in pain. My contractions are like 5 minutes apart at this point, but they were like, wait till they're 2 or 3. So I'm like waiting patiently till they're 2 or 3. And like I said, 5:30, I had a really intense contraction and my water broke. And it was very different. At first I thought I was bleeding, so this is really gross, but I made Brian check for me. I was like, can you look? And
disclaimer, I mean, we're really close, so I was able to do that.
So it wasn't that bad.
And it was kind of hard to tell because at this point, Kirsten, like she said, she's bleeding, so I really didn't know if it was what she thought it was. She said her water had broke, and it was a burst, but she said it wasn't a huge burst. So I decided, I was like, you know what, we're going, let's go now, let's be safe. We got in the car, we made our way, and at the next stoplight, it was red light, Kirsten had a contraction, and literally I turned over and her sweatpants were soaked.
It was, I mean, it was bad. I mean, at that point I was relieved. I was like, thank you, because now they will finally take me and treat me. But I mean, it felt weird. I mean, I don't know, I didn't expect my water to break. I thought they would have to break it for me. And it's a very different feeling. It doesn't feel like you pee yourself. It just feels like an entire gush of water just kind of exploded out of you. It's a very different feeling.
And for those of you who are pregnant or may be pregnant in the future, it does have a distinct smell.
Oh,
you will know the difference.
It smells very different. And I ruined Brian's entire car seat. I'm sorry about that. So we get to the hospital, and I love this part. Brian pulls up, and it's like 6, so like everybody's kind of gone. It's like quiet, like the parking lot's pretty much empty. Brian pulls up in the circle, and he just gets out, grabs me a wheelchair, leaves the car running in the circle.
Door open,
wheels me like fast because like I can't walk. I'm in pain up to the 2nd floor. And pretty much just dropped me off at OB triage.
And the girls, you should have seen them. You should have seen
all their faces. It was the same nurse as the morning. She just like looked at me. She gave me like this sideways look, and I'm like sitting there shaking because like my pants are soaking wet.
All she says is, my water broke.
Yeah, I was like, my water broke. I didn't even know, like I had my ID in my hand. I'm like shaking, giving it to them. They're like, no, let's just go. And so Brian ran back downstairs to get the car, and they don't even put me in a triage room, obviously. They put me like directly in a birthing suite. And immediately there's like 10 nurses in there with me. I'm by myself because Brian, had to go park the car. And I'm by myself, and the same nurse that checked me that morning checked me again. And then she looks at me and she's like, well, honey, you're 7 centimeters dilated. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm crying. I'm like having contractions. Brian's not there. They're like hooking me up. Like there's so many people around me, like talking to me, asking me questions, and I literally was just shaking the whole time. I'm like, oh my god, like I can't even tell you how badly I was shaking. Like I just sat there like this the whole time. Even going into labor, I was shaking. So yeah, you come upstairs and I mean there's all these people.
Exactly. I just nonchalantly walked back up, you know, got in the elevator, got to the second story, went to triage, like, all right, so which room is she in? She's like, we admitted her. I was like, oh crap, all right. And they're like, down there, go down there, they'll tell you where she's at. I walk into the door, they're literally, she's not lying, there was like 10 people around her, like hooking up monitors, like, okay, breathe, like telling, like, this is happening. I'm like, oh crap, this is happening right now? Remember, like, are you serious?
I remember you sat down and I like looked at Brian and I was like 7 centimeters. I was like,
God.
I was crying. So we were actually there while the nurses were having like a shift change. So the first 2 nurses that I had originally were like, you're so far along, we're not going to be able to give you the epidural. You can do this, honey. I've done this naturally. And I mean, like, they're telling me this while I'm like, I'm literally holding the nurse's hand, crying, like begging her, like, please give me the epidural. Please, for the love of God, do this for me, because like I will love you forever. Because like I can't explain to you. It's like it's not bad, but for me, like, it just hurts so bad. Like the contractions were so close together at this point, it just felt like a consistent contraction. And I mean, I didn't really look at the monitor, but like I could just picture it being like I could just imagine it, and it hurts so bad. Yeah, it was, that first shift was like awful. Those nurses, they were great and they were so nice to me, but I mean, I was like in a lot of pain.
So the next nurses came in and the anesthesiologist came in, made her sign everything. They're like, okay, we're going to try and give it to you. Kirsten had the epidural within an hour. And let me tell you, from the significant other's point of view, Kirsten completely changed. I mean,
I can tell you I completely changed too. Not as soon as she put it in, but like she put it in. I'll tell you about the epidural. It wasn't that bad. I mean, you're in a lot of pain as it is, so just getting the needle in your back, like, I didn't even care. I was just like, I don't even care. Put it in. And I didn't even feel it. It felt like a pinch. I mean, they had me like hold you, and I was kind of like, but it was fine. And then once they had it in, I mean, I felt like immediately I didn't like immediately go numb, but I felt like the warm tingling in my feet and everything kind of slowly went numb. And once I wasn't able to feel, I mean, I could feel the contractions in my belly, like I could feel the hard belly, but I couldn't like feel them. Everything felt great. Like I was really talkative, really nice.
Kirsten was telling me I had to do the dishes when we got home, just random stuff. She wasn't hot, that's the thing. It doesn't make you hot. She just didn't feel any pain to where she was thinking about other things. And it's crazy because she's laying there having a baby.
Yeah,
it was
pretty much what happened.
Kirsten's mom finally at that point was there, and it was
everybody showed up right after all the fun stuff. Like your dad showed up after.
Yeah, they were all like, wow, she's doing it so well. It's like, you guys should have been here 30 minutes ago. It was hell.
Yeah, so that happened.
Yeah, so Kirsten's mom and I, we sat there and she was just like blown away, like, wow, Kirsten, you're doing this really well. Kirsten was saying she was sorry to the nurses. She didn't say any, she was so nice, really, and they're all like, why, you don't have to apologize, like, you're having a baby. She's like, I'm sorry, I'm not pushing good enough.
And I was like thanking the nurse for holding my hand. I was like, thank you for holding my hand.
It was really weird. Kirsten was being way too nice.
So yeah, this is still Thursday, so at, it was like 11:30 at night, my doctor finally came, and I was really happy because it was actually the doctor that I had been seeing the entire time. I was really nervous that they would have a different doctor on call, but they actually called him in, and he was so excited to come in, I remember, because he was like, yay, they're finally having their baby. And he's such a great doctor. I've talked about him before. So he came in and he was like, are you ready to do this? And I was just so calm. I'm like, all right, let's get this done. So they pulled like the straps up and I had my legs up, and I guess I really don't even remember, to be honest. I just started pushing, really, and pushing wasn't that bad. Actually, I think pushing was probably the best part, because it's honestly like taking one giant poop. I mean, that's really what it is. It's a very relieving feeling, like it feels really good. So I started, you had one leg, the nurse had the other. I couldn't feel, I mean, I'm telling you, the epidural, you can't feel anything.
Kirsten kept saying, I can't feel my butt.
I was like, I can't feel my butt, I can't feel my legs, I can't feel anything. All I could feel was pressure. Like, I wasn't so numb that I couldn't feel anything. I felt pressure, which I thought was good because then I was able to kind of know when to push. So I started pushing. I actually ended up pushing for 2 hours, which wasn't bad. So then it went into Friday the 13th, and I pushed for 2 hours, like I said, and
I was there at the end the entire time, from the beginning of nothing to a baby coming out.
It was crazy.
So I saw it all.
The only thing really significant is that I had to have an oxygen mask at one point because I really couldn't breathe. It wasn't that I was holding I was kind of holding my breath a lot. So like at the end I was just kind of like, I really couldn't catch my breath. So I had to have an oxygen mask, which was fine. I held it myself. I had everything together. And then I just, like I said, I pushed for, is she okay?
Yeah.
And then like I said, I pushed for 2 hours. It basically just feels like pressure. And then right when like the baby's head was like right there, like right when her head was like right at the crowning point, like it was like crazy. All these people came in. They literally took apart the end of my bed. Like they pulled it, like it was go time. Like they were ready.
And from my perspective, a lot of things that Kirsten didn't explain yet is that the doctors help. Like, they like assist. Like, I'm sitting here watching, one nurse is pushing the stomach, like, for the baby to come out while she's pushing, and another doctor's like in there with their hands, like trying to make room for the baby. Like, I'm talking like in there. And that was different to see because I thought, to me, that'd be really painful. And I'm over here looking at Kirsten just like...
I didn't feel anything. I mean, I felt pressure. Like, I felt... He was like, do you feel my hands? So I was like, yeah, I feel pressure. He's like, okay, push where my hands are. So I did. At one point, a doctor did come in and say, we might need to help assist you with the... What are they called?
The forceps.
The forceps. He said, we might need to assist you.
But we didn't want that.
He said, are you okay with it? And I said, yeah. But at that point, I was like, yeah, but I'm going to push as hard as I can now, which I did.
15 minutes later.
Yeah, 15 minutes later, I had my baby. So basically, I pushed. They took apart the bed. It was go time. I felt the pressure of her head, and then they said push. I pushed. I mean, like the biggest push I felt, and you guys were like, the whole time you guys were like, you guys are doing awesome. You're doing so good. And I was like, no, I'm not.
She was like, Kirsten's like, you guys are lying to me. Yeah, I'm not. I don't even feel nothing. I was like, Kirsten, I could see the top of Avery's head, probably 20 minutes into pushing, and she pushed for 2 hours. Like, I saw that. I was like, Kirsten, there's a head right there. She had so much hair, and I was trying to explain that to Kirsten, and Kirsten's like, you're lying to me, Brian. It's like, why would I lie to you? Like, I see it.
Yeah, and I remember at that point, or like it was towards the end, the doctor was like, her head's right here, do you want to feel it? And I'm like, no, that's disgusting.
Yeah, she wanted...
Like, I was like, I don't know why I said it like that, but I was like, ew, no. Like, I was just like, no, it's so gross. Anything else before she came?
No.
No? Okay, so then pushed her out.
She cried right away.
Yeah, she came out so fast. She's crying, and at the beginning they were like, "Do you want her on you?" And I said, "Yeah." Like, don't clean her up first. I want her. And they put her on my chest, and I felt, I don't know. I don't really know how I felt. I felt very like, I was very proud of myself for being able to do that. I was very like, okay, well, he's gonna go get her. I was very proud of myself, and I did cry a little. I teared up a little bit. I'm like kind of crying right now. But I did tear up a little bit. I know Brian cried, and I know my mom cried. And they put her on me, and I was just holding this baby. And the camera's dying, but I was just holding this baby, and it was such a good experience. Is she asleep? The camera's dying, just so you know.
Okay.
She's asleep. But it was such a good experience.
Good morning.
These lights are so bright. I'm sorry, Pumpkin. But she came out. She was 19 inches long. She came out Friday the 13th at 2:11 in the morning. She was 7.5 pounds, 19 inches long, full head of hair, beautiful blue eyes. Mama. Full head of hair. Yeah, so that was kind of it. If you guys have any like other questions or anything like that, put them in the comments about anything like postpartum or anything. I did have a 2nd-degree tear. I didn't say that, but I didn't feel them stitching me up or anything. But yeah, it was a really good experience. I don't know if I would do it all over again, but I'm very happy with my little baby.
She's so mad.
She's so mad at us, but I love her so much. Here.
Say hi. She's not having it. I'm taking her away.
But yeah, if you guys have any other questions about any postpartum, anything else related to the birth, let me know. Maybe I'll do a Q&A or something like that, or I'll just reply to your comments. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I haven't said this yet, but Brian and I do have a daily vlog channel, and we do vlog her all the time, so I'll link that down below as well. I hope you guys enjoyed, and subscribe to me if you're not already. I'll try and get back on my regular schedule for you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.